Yes, those shots were taken with the Kodak PixPro AZ255. So what's the catch? I mean, it's so small and compact.
And it's so inexpensive, can it really be good? But the reviews are good.
We'll go over the strengths and weaknesses, how does it operate, and what to expect from this camera. And just to let you know,
I bought this one with my own money, so you'll be happy to know it's a completely unbiased review.
Now, you may have heard that Kodak is having a lot of problems, that they may even be going bankrupt. But that's the original Eastman Kodak company that makes the films and chemicals. The Kodak name was licensed out some years ago, so these Kodak cameras won't be affected. Now, unlike the 55 and 45, the AZ255 you can't put in your pocket, well, unless you have really big pockets. But compared to a 4 and 5 times zoom, which the other cameras have, the AZ255's 25 times zoom is very impressive and pretty sharp throughout the range. On the left is one of my favorite bridge cameras, the Sony RX10 Mark IV, which also goes out to 600 millimeters. But look how much smaller the AZ255 is with both lenses fully extended. And here's a picture with that Sony RX10, and here's a picture with the Kodak. Well, you go back and forth, it's not a big difference, but there's a big price difference, 10 times as much for the Sony. But here's the Sony in a night scene compared to the Kodak, and well. But in a lot of low-lit scenes, the image is not that bad. You'll see a lot of images in this video. Right now, let's talk about some of the features and the physical part of the camera. I'll tell you what I like.
Is that it's available in a variety of colors, which is nice. Even though the camera is small, it has a nice beefy grip. So I don't think you're going to have a problem even if you have big hands. There is no viewfinder to brace yourself and to shield your eye when it's bright and sunny out.
You have to use the rear screen, which doesn't tilt or flip out like some other cameras do. It's also not a touch screen. But when reviewing your photos, you can use that zoom rocker switch to magnify into your pictures. And if you're shooting in a bright day with a lot of sun, it's very difficult to see the screen.
By the way, this camera you cannot take to a tropical rainforest or anything like that. It is not waterproof or weather sealed.
Now, the AZ255 runs on 4 AA batteries, so you may want to consider buying rechargeable AAs so you don't have to keep buying batteries to feed this thing. And depending on how many pictures and videos you take, you may only get a full day's use out of them.
If you're a beginner to photography and you really don't know anything about aperture, shutter speed, or anything like that, you can just put the camera in the top dial in the red position with the camera, and that's fully automatic mode. So then at that point, all you do is just look at the screen and you half press the shutter button until you hear a little click and the box turns green.
It'll recognize a face to focus on it as well.
And you press down fully and you take your picture. It's as easy as that.
The camera has a scene mode, so depending on what situation you're in, the camera will take a picture and try to optimize for it. I never had much luck with it, but you may have more luck with the I button on the back. That gets you into your filters, give you vintage looks like black and white or sepia. Salon? I think this is used exclusively for nail salons. Filters like vignette and vivid colors give your picture some punch, but I tried it in video here. I put this in black and white mode and it didn't work in video. Push the rocker switch to extend the lens.
You can adjust your camera's exposure if it's too bright or too dark. And this is actually a continuous button, so it'll take continuous pictures if you're doing sports, if you decide you want to do something fast.
The built-in pull-up flash is very nice as it accents colors. Here's a shot with the flash, and this is without. The AZ255 shoots 1080p video, and it has a built-in stabilizer. That's what OIS stands for. And here's a shot. You can hear the actual zoom noise, so that's the zoom motor, but I am hand-holding here at full 25 times or 600 millimeter equivalent. Stabilizer is on, and it looks very stable. And you get a nice blurry background, too. But the bad news is that the autofocus really struggles, especially at full zoom. If you're not zoomed in that tight like here, you see it locks onto my face and it's not bad. But when you're really zoomed in tight, you can see how long it takes to snap into focus. And unfortunately, there's no manual focus in the camera. Switching autofocus modes in the menu from off to on doesn't really seem to help. Well, let's say you want to vlog with the camera.
All right, I am vlogging at arm's length here, and you can get an idea about the bumpiness. And I'm vlogging at arm's length, so you could pretty much see how it's going to be on the boardwalk. The sun is in, and I'm really holding the camera as far away as I can.
Now, your photos are stored on an SD card, so you'll have to invest in that. And you take the card out to watch the pictures on your computer, or you can attach the micro USB cable from here to your computer. Now, if you want to set a high shutter speed to freeze action, you can, but because the camera has a small sensor, a lot of your pictures will be dark. Never a free lunch, right? And speaking of free lunches, looks like someone had some fun in the park last night.
Are you using protection?
The flower button on the back is a macro button, means the camera can shoot really close to the lens, like flowers. The flash actually comes in handy too in these situations. I saw a ladybug right in front of my door, so I decided, hey, let's try some macro shots. Got some. You can even crop in pretty tight and get some nice detail. Not bad. Some neat little tricks like Face Beautifier. Supposedly takes a look at your face and makes it look, well, beautiful. Let's see if it works with me. It processes the image for a second. The longer it takes, the more ugly you are, I guess. Yeah, there it works. The camera has a few self-timer modes, 2 seconds, 10 seconds, and there's also a unique smile mode. So if you put it into that mode and then you press the shutter button, the camera will examine for smiles. Now let's see if I can fool it. There, I smiled. Let's see here, I'm going to frown. Nope, it's not shooting me. Smiling. It works again. This doesn't work for animals, by the way, but this camera is really designed for wildlife and things in the distance, of course. But not just animals, everyday life and people if you want to get real up close and personal. I brought the camera to a bird watching group and someone pointed out this raccoon sleeping in the tree. I would never have seen that without some help. But the AZ55 and its noisy zoom didn't wake up the raccoon. I was glad about that. So yeah, are these pictures much better than your phone? No, but your phone can't get pictures like this. A lot of the zoom in phone cameras is digital. This is a true 25 times optical zoom. Now, speaking of phones, if you want to get some of the pictures from your camera to your phone, there's no Wi-Fi, so you have to use an adapter like this.
This is not going to be for someone doing fast action like sports, because it's really going to have trouble keeping up with that. Even for birding, birds don't like to stay still. By the time this thing acquires the focus on your bird, it's going to be flown away. It's also not for low light photography. If you're going to be shooting in a dark church or a wedding or something like that, I would say no. In a gym that's low lit, no.
But if you don't have a lot of motion in your shot, like at the sunset, you can get away with some lower light stuff.
This is more outdoor photography, which obviously most of the stuff we're going to be shooting is outside. Outdoor travel photography, special event photography, outdoor parties, family events, especially if you're zooming in on anything landscape or statues that aren't going to be moving around too much. Give the camera some time to focus and you'll be able to get the shot. But can I recommend it? Well, I don't know, honestly. This is the FC300. It is a bit bigger. It's a Panasonic Lumix camera that was discontinued a year or two ago. And it is more expensive on the secondary market, probably around $300. But if you can go for that extra money, and it is a bit heavier, I will say, but it offers so much more. It has a similar zoom range out to 600 millimeters, but it has this viewfinder for your eye. The screen, unlike the Kodak, flips out, flips around if you want to shoot yourself. It has more controls, it takes better images. The focus, even though it's not up to modern day focus, is way better than this Kodak. So if you don't mind spending some more money, and not that much more, but it is doubled, depending if you're 150 versus 300, it is significantly more, then I would say look at the Panasonic Lumix FC300. But if you're on a budget and want that super zoom experience, maybe you're just getting into photography and you want to see if you like using a camera like this, then yes, give it a shot. It's also fun using a camera like this. And when you take it out, people now start to look at you funny. You have a real camera? Wow, you start to get some respect.
Destroy my life, no respect. I don't get no respect at all.
By the way, Kodak does offer a few other super zoom models as well, and there's a very good chance I'm going to take a look at those too. Subscribe, stay tuned, and like, please, if you don't mind. It helps the channel. Thanks so much for your support. See you in the next video.
Years away, as long as it's okay, I'll stay with you.